As of last night, the government is officially in a partial shutdown. What does this mean for the markets, for the IRS, for Social Security, and your money? I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of The Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Yeah, we are in a partial government shutdown. Frustrating, and yet, yeah, here we are. And so we get tons of financial questions about this. And one of them, well, has this ever happened before? Yes, the threat is sort of always looming. And yeah, this is our 21st, over the years, our 21st government shutdown. You can look at the list here and see many of them are resolved very, very quickly, just in a day or something like that. And we have no idea how long this one will last. And hopefully it is just a couple of days, could be a little bit longer, but we get a lot of questions. A lot of financial questions come with either a potential government shutdown or now that we're in one. Well, what happens with my Social Security? What happens with my Medicare? What happens with the IRS? And so I want to answer some of the most common financial questions that we get when it comes to government shutdowns. The first one, what happens to the stock market? What happens to the stock market? Not that, well, is the stock market going to close, but more so, is the stock market going to crash? I can't tell you how many times I've fielded this question over my career as the threat of a shutdown has come. And as of right now, and I would say this has been typical of the past as well, that the stock market actually doesn't react very much to whether the government is about to shut down or could potentially shut down or enters a shutdown. The stock market doesn't move that much based on that. And as of right now, the start of the trading day on Wednesday, market started a little negative and reached positive. I'm just going to argue they're flat, hasn't really reacted much. There's a couple reasons for this. Not that the market doesn't care, but because it could, but it also is that the stock market is a predicting or forward-looking engine, meaning it's already been pricing in the chances of a shutdown and what is the economic impact. And so likely right up until this event, the stock market already priced in the probability and likelihood that we enter a shutdown, and then the potential scenarios on what it means for corporate earnings or overall government policy, that sort of thing. And it hasn't, the stock market's, it's already sort of priced in. I think then that the market has already been pricing in a reasonable resolution timeline for this as well. If we see something abnormal or a big wild card, we might see the market react. But as of right now, the market's been very calm. Should you panic? Should you make some big changes? This is one of the follow-up question, or maybe the question behind the question, when we're asked, well, what's going to happen to the market if the government shuts down? I don't think, just simply because of history and how the market's performed and how we're seeing it right now, it doesn't seem like it would make sense to make a lot of changes to your investment portfolio. Stay the course, make sure that you're taking the right strategies, managing risk well, hopefully multiple strategies, and that it's all designed for your risk tolerance, time horizon, your financial plan. After the questions about what happens to the stock market during the shutdown, the next most common one is what happens to my Social Security? Thankfully, Social Security, still, those checks will continue to be paid out. Social Security will continue to be operational during a partial government shutdown. So there shouldn't be any worries there. There could be some delays in signing up for Social Security. There's in history, we've had some times where there have been significant delays in that. We could see some of those, especially if this prolongs, but no, there will be no interruption to you receiving your Social Security checks and receiving those payments. That's going to continue even in a partial shutdown. Same question then for Medicare. If you're on Medicare, will you still be able to use your insurance? Could you go to the hospital? Blah, blah, blah. And will there be delays in processing? No, everything should be operational with your Medicare as well. There could be some delays, but no issues, no problems with still using Medicare and signing up for Medicare or going to the doctor, that sort of thing. There could be some delays again if this prolongs, but shouldn't be an issue. Medicare still operational, Medicaid as well. Another financial question, although somewhat tangential, if you're mailing out payments or you are receiving checks in the mail, well, does the mail still work during a government shutdown? Yep. Rain and sleet, snow, all that. Yep. Even during government shutdowns, the U.S. Postal Service continues to be operational as well. Those of you that have federal pensions through the FERS program or federal pension benefits, or if you're a veteran and receive veteran payments, veteran benefits, those also will continue as well without a hitch during a government shutdown. So those are some of the primary: Social Security, Medicare. Will I continue to get mail? And my pension benefits, will those all continue? Thankfully, the answer to those is even during government shutdown, yep, those continue to be operational. You shouldn't see any issues. Maybe some processing delays depending on how long this takes, but you shouldn't see any issues. The last one then, the last big question, it might be in the back of your mind because it's not tax season, but what happens with the IRS? I've seen this painted already this morning and today as good news, and I don't feel that way personally, but thanks to some additional funds and some resource allocation, the IRS remains operational for the first 5 business days after a shutdown. And I think the news, of course, normally doom and gloom and negative, they're spinning this positive because most shutdowns are resolved within that 5-day time period. And so hopefully this one is as well. And the IRS, you don't feel any issues. However, it's after the 5 days that we would feel issues. There could be delays. There could be challenges with the IRS. So what should you do? We have October 15 coming up right around the corner. That's the tax filing deadline, including extensions. If you've got your tax return ready and you're just sort of waiting, I don't know, my plate's kind of full right now, I would file your return. I would file your return now within these 5 business days. I think that gets us to October 7th, something like that. I'd get your return filed. If you have other work that you need to do or you need to call the IRS and I just haven't gotten around to it, I would do that within these 5 days by October 7th. Because after the 5 days, does the IRS shut down? No, it's an essential service, and so it doesn't shut down. However, I would expect longer wait times on refunds. If you do file a tax return or have a matter that's not resolved yet and then gets resolved after this 5-day window, I would expect delays in that refund. If you've need to mail something or in some correspondence with the IRS or need a phone call, that's going to be delayed as well. So still functioning and operational after the 5 days, but slower than normal, which we know the normal is pretty slow with the IRS. So there you have it. I hope this shutdown gets resolved very, very quickly, but these are the most common financial questions that we get when it comes to the threat or potential impact of a government shutdown. I hope that helps you either alleviate some concerns or helps you take your next wise step in your financial life. If you have some concerns or issues about your specific financial situation, make sure you're working with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.